My girlfriend kissed someone right before we started dating. I want to end our 3-year relationship.
Now, call me crazy, but if you do something before you're dating, it doesn't matter.
No! Well, we'll see. Am I wrong about my girlfriend of 3 years lying to me about who kissed her at a party prior to us locking down our monogamy?
Lock that down.
Well, this lockdown came from Ambitious Walrus 4247 from the r/okstorytime subreddit. So my girlfriend and I, late 30s, early 40s, met almost 4 years ago. We were both long since divorced from our respective school-age child's other parent.
What?
So they're divorced and they both have like school-age kids.
Okay.
Yeah, both divorced and both have school-age.
Okay.
When we first met, I was nearing the end of a 3-year relationship, and in part due to traumatic past relationships, I was not looking for anything serious initially, and made it clear at the beginning that I preferred something casual and preferred a non-monogamous relationship.
Question, what does nearing the end of a relationship mean?
There's
a little bit of overlap.
Yeah.
A little bit.
I mean, that's what it seems like.
That's what it sounds like.
I don't know. She was very clear, too, that she was uncomfortable with non-monogamy and was worried about the consequences, but ultimately, she agreed in order to be with me. Coercion for the win!
She's like, I don't know. And he's like, do it.
Okay. As we got to know each other better, we began spending more and more time together, both just the two of us and all together with our children as well. And after 15 to 16 months, during which time I was occasionally fooling around with other women, including my ex. Messy. My feelings grew for her to the point that I became more interested in creating a future together and blending our families. And to be completely honest here, during the initial period, I wasn't honest with her about sleeping with my ex.
Oh my God. This man is so hypocritical. You hypocrites.
She was very clear all along from very early on that she wanted to build a future with me and create a blended family, and we had several conversations about moving in together and possibly even having another child together. In hindsight, I should have locked down a relationship much earlier, but instead I foolishly allowed the condition of non-monogamy to go unaddressed for a second year. The thing that I asked for that I wanted, I let that keep going.
I didn't want it to keep going, and she also didn't want it to keep going, but you kept it going.
Kept it going. In hindsight, I just suppose that my behavior and actions and our other conversations about our desires for the future were sufficient to communicate my intention. OP just like has a way of scrambling a bunch of words.
Yeah, and all of it just at the end of the day means we didn't communicate.
We didn't talk. We didn't
talk about our problems.
Ever since we met, she has worked 2 jobs in sales/marketing, one for an international company, meaning she constantly receives phone calls and texts at all hours, frequently has to entertain clients, happy hours, dinners, organizing work events/parties, and lots of travel. She frequently invites me to travel with her and invites me to attend the larger events where my presence wouldn't be inappropriate. At approximately 2 years in, I declined to go with her to a non-work party that she invited me to join, and she went ahead with some girlfriends without me. Shortly afterwards, she admitted that while she was dancing at the party, quote unquote, some rando kissed her, and she pushed him away and immediately left the party and proceeded to text me on her way home, but I was asleep.
I like the part where she updated him about it.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
Immediately.
The part where she told him everything that happened about how she got non-consensually kissed.
Yeah.
Okay.
Are we leading up to a problem, OP? OP, are you about to get the worst double strike in OK Storytime history? We're about to see. Now, keep in mind at this point, I still had not yet addressed locking down our relationship. The thing that you began!
So, again, you aren't in a monogamous relationship.
So I had no grounds to be upset with her at the time for someone non-consensually kissing her. Shortly after telling me.
You wouldn't even have grounds to be upset with her if you were in a monogamous relationship.
Literally, there are so many layers to where you cannot be upset. Like so many.
What?
So many strong layers. Shortly after telling me about this, I agreed to shift to a committed monogamous relationship. She didn't even intentionally like kiss someone of her own volition.
The jealousy, crazy.
Dude,
crazy. It's
insane.
shocking that this is what kind of pushed him to monogamy and not like, oh, you know what? I actually really care for my partner and I think that I want to just focus on this one person now. No, it was like, oh, she kissed someone else. She's mine.
Dude. Wow. I have honored that commitment ever since and never had any cause to doubt her either. Fast forward another 1.5 years, a few months ago, she received a rather innocuous Happy Mother's Day text from a guy that I once met at one of her girlfriend's parties towards the beginning of our relationship. At the time I met him, she told me they had a completely platonic friendship, which I accepted at face value. However, looking back on it, I do remember getting bad vibes meeting him. In the nearly 4 years together, I've never felt inclined to pick up her phone and snoop, but I got an awful feeling in my gut when I saw that text and I scrolled through her messages and found that he had texted her the eggplant emoji in the past, shortly before our relationship began. Once again, everyone. Before. So not only before they locked down the non-monogamous, to my understanding, this is before the relationship even started.
So OP has not only, done everything before this,
Yes.
is now snooping through his girlfriend's phone.
Yeah.
And calling her out or like getting mad about things that happened before the relationship began. And once again, this man that he's mad about non-consensually kissed her.
The guy non-consensually kissed her. This person, which I believe is a different person.
It's the same person.
Oh, it's the same person.
It's the same person.
I see.
He's so far what I'm getting is that he's mad that she said it was a rando. And now he's finding out that they've talked before.
I did not immediately confront her about the text, which indicated that she had lied to me about her history with this person, again, early in our relationship and prior to our monogamy commitment. Afterwards, I started to notice over the last few months that I was becoming more distrustful and becoming more quick to anger over insignificant crap.
Ridiculous.
I noticed I began to get more upset. I had this observation that I am upset.
I looked into myself and I noticed that I suck.
Finally, a couple of weeks ago, I initiated a conversation where I told her that I still did not completely trust her.
What do you mean still did not?
Was there anything before? It sounded like you were, dude. She became upset, crying, offended that after all this time, I still hadn't learned that I could trust her. So we continued the discussion and I asked her point blank who kissed her at the dance party. She initially pushed back and asked harshly why I needed to know. I think she could see the look of shock on my face at her response, and eventually she admitted that it was the same platonic friend who sent her the eggplant text. My shock only grew because I did not realize that these two things were connected. I had believed her when she told me it was some random person that kissed her at the party. However, I suppose deep down I still had a sinking feeling.
Oh, so he just realized. I just assumed they were the same guy.
Well, you were intuitive.
So freaking smart.
I was like, is my reading comprehension so bad that I don't understand
my
this?
My reading comprehension is so good that I can predict.
Dude.
Wow.
How does Sophia have like 150% reading comprehension and then all of us have like 10% combined reading comprehension?
Like she knows the story.
Okay, no. I know some of the stories. Luke found this. Thank you very much. I only look at the titles.
Got him.
Oh,
got him.
Just a freaking genius. Thank you very much.
Now to make matters worse, this guy has come up a handful of times since I've met him, both before and after the kiss, in conversations with her girlfriend, and she never took the opportunity to set the record straight. Even worse still.
Again, she told him right after the kiss happened and probably would have said this guy did it if he had picked up the phone.
True.
Like he never asked who did it.
He didn't. Yeah. I mean, maybe I guess he's coming. I was going to say maybe she
could have been like, oh,
didn't think he would remember who it was.
Yeah.
But I guess he's saying that he has come up in conversation, so I guess he would know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, worst case scenario, even if it is him, it doesn't matter.
Like
she didn't want to kiss him.
Exactly.
Yeah. And she told him immediately.
Honestly, if she had told, I don't know, like even if she hasn't told him and he finds out this, like OP finds this out, I feel like my feelings in this moment would not be, oh my God, why didn't you tell me? I'm so jealous. It'd be like, wow, I want to keep this guy away. Like, are you okay?
Yeah, 100%.
It wouldn't be jealousy.
An insane reaction. Also, do we know if this, not that it even matters, but do we know if the kiss was during the non-monogamous or the monogamous?
Non-monogamous.
Dude, there's literally so many reasons, but number one that trumps everything else is literally exactly what you just said. The response should be, oh my God, are you okay? Like, can we like keep this guy away? Is there anything I can do to help? Like, I feel like that should be the response.
All we know is eggplant happened before the relationship.
Yes.
And not the kiss happened
before monogamy.
Yeah.
What are we doing here? Seriously, my guy. Even worse still, Opie says, after the kiss and after we committed to each other, the guy picked up her and her girlfriend from another party one evening and drove them home after her girlfriend found out that she had just suddenly lost someone in the family.
Even worse! Her friend lost a family member and he drove them home.
She told me at the time that this guy had picked them up from the party and dropped them off at her girlfriend's, but now she's admitted to me in recent discussions that the two of them dropped her girlfriend off home and they went and had a drink together in honor of her girlfriend's deceased family member. Quote unquote. Another outright lie, which has no good explanation. Dude.
That is the only lie that I'm like, why would you lie about that? But,
yeah.
But it's still, again, they're not monogamous, so it's not.
Literally, like, you're out here hooking up with your ex and not communicating
Yeah, and not
that.
telling her that.
And you're, like, getting mad. Or bare minimum, you have to say, like, all right, here's my massive effed up thing, but this thing also didn't make me feel great.
Yeah.
But I digress. And if these lies weren't enough, guys, if this wasn't enough, when I finally confronted her about the text, she pretended to have no idea what I was talking about, handed me her phone to prove her innocence. Before looking at it, I asked her if she had quote unquote sanitized her phone, and she pretended she didn't understand what I meant. When I explicitly asked her if she had deleted any incriminating messages, she looked at me in the eyes and told me no. So I'm sure you can probably guess that when I scrolled down, the eggplant had been deleted. Then she began what I can only describe as an Oscar-winning performance, claiming to not understand what I was talking about, no idea about any eggplant text. This performance lasted a good couple of minutes before she finally recognized that I had her dead to rights, and she ultimately admitted that she had deleted it and covered it up because she was worried about how I would respond. I don't know, maybe because he's a insecure, jealous maniac?
This is the only thing I will give him.
Yes.
Shouldn't have lied about that.
Yes, totally.
The only thing he gets here, but still.
It doesn't erase all of the stuff over here of like him not worrying about her hooking up with his ex and like
snooping through her phone,
pushing her into the non-monogamous relationship. Like my boy's rep sheet is stacked and she's got one thing on it.
Yeah.
Like,
we have an eggplant emoji sent before the relationship. That is it.
Dude. And she's covering it up. Which again, like you said, like, okay, be honest up front, but she's probably covering up because she knows that he's so insecure and will have a terrible reaction
to it.
You know? Oh my God.
I would like to see what he sent before the relationship happened.
Dude. That part. She now claims that prior to our relationship beginning, she went on a couple of dates and fooled around with him, but didn't have spicy sleep the one time that they came close because he refused to wear protection. Oh my goodness.
Icky man too.
But protect your soul by joining us on YouTube every weekday at 3 p.m. We're live like we are right now. Come hang out with us. Now I recognize that I've created this mess from the very beginning by not locking down our relationship as soon as I began having feelings for her and maybe just being a butt wipe.
Yeah.
And I certainly recognize that I have plenty of blame lying at my feet. That you do. But obviously I'm having a hard time believing anything she tells me, and I'm not sure if I can continue in a relationship where the trust has been broken like this. Breaking things off will be painful for both of us, and there will certainly be collateral damage to both of our children who have grown to love the other as parental figures and each other as near siblings. However, continuing this path may only serve to allow damage to increase the longer things continue. That's the end of the story. But I mean, it just seems so obvious that OP's the a-hole.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think, what's the real question here?
The real question.
Should they continue their relationship? But Sophia.
Yes.
Look, yeah, she had a little bit of an area where it's like, okay, you could have been honest and forthcoming. But like, I think within the context, like knowing how insecure and hypocritical he is, and he's probably painting himself in such a good light.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, he never mentioned anything later on about admitting to hooking up with his ex.
That's what I was wondering. I was like, did he ever tell her that?
He didn't tell us that, so I have to assume no, right?
Yeah.
So he's still sitting on this, and I think he mentioned it because he knows, even if they didn't have like an explicit like boundary in their like non-monogamous relationship, he knows that it would probably hurt her to know. So no.
It's weird. It's weird. I thought it was kind of funny when he was like, "Oh, did you sanitize your phone?" And she was like, she pretended to not understand me.
Yeah.
I don't know if I would understand what someone, like if they meant, "Did you sanitize your phone?"
I'm like,
did I clean it?
hand like the
Yeah,
spray hand sanitizer.
I don't know.
Like, he's like, no, I
dirty?
needed you sanitize it of any unsavory,
Yeah.
dirty messages like an eggplant.
Yeah.
What are we talking about here? Yeah. So I'm definitely on not to stay together.
Definitely he's like the worst person in this situation, but it seems like in general neither of them are communicating that well.
Yeah.
And I think there's for sure a breakdown of trust that's happened. So it's like just.
And to be honest, like the whole first part of their relationship, like it really sounded like he just kind of pressured, guilt tripped, whatever word you want to use, her into the non-monogamy. Yeah. If I had to guess, she probably was like, you know, maybe thought this guy was interesting, maybe enjoyed the attention or something, but probably actually felt guilty and confused because she probably didn't want to be in a non-monogamous relationship. And she's like, do I want to, I mean, it's totally actually allowed, but do I want to do it? Like, I think the only thing she did wrong was just not being 100% forthright with like the text and stuff or deleting the text. Yeah,
deleting the text was the move for sure.
Ultimately, if she had just communicated like, oh, I'm seeing this guy, there's nothing on her.
Nothing. And she didn't even see him.
She didn't even see him.
She didn't even see him. She said they fooled around.
In the non-monogamous
part of the very beginning. Briefly. Which still isn't.
She's broken no rules of the boundaries that you guys have set. So.
Yeah.
Please split up. Yeah, super immature. I think this is a bad relationship. I'm not surprised his first relationship didn't work out.
Not surprised.
To be honest. You know what else I'm not surprised about?
What?
We have more stories.
Let me read them.
I think that's
Let me read them.
Here we go.
All right. My boyfriend finally moved in with me, but he treats me like a maid. Ding. Since moving in with my boyfriend, I have somehow become the only one doing kitchen duty. Well, most duties, actually. I do all the laundry, I take the trash out to the bins, do all the cleaning in the bathroom, I dust the furniture.
A lot of duty.
By the way, this comes from Pillow Princess Alt on the r/OKstorytime subreddit. But it seems like you're not a pillow princess in the kitchen duties.
This is true.
Then the kitchen duties, I do all grocery shopping, I make the menu, I do all the cooking, and then do the dishes and clean the sink and counters. I feed and water the cats and dogs. The cats are his. He does lawn duty. We live in a condo with a 20 square foot yard and half of it is covered in concrete.
He has a patch of grass. He goes, okay, done.
Yeah, he gets like a pair of scissors and he clips it. Yeah. And then he walks away. He's like, doesn't it look great?
Toenail clippers.
Yeah. And he Swiffers the floor a couple times a week. Everything else is on me. We both work full time and split the bills evenly. I actually work more than him. He works 4 10-hour shifts a week when I work 6 8-hour shifts. Obviously, this is now starting to cause lots of resentment. I have tried just not doing things, but they don't get done. I can't live in filth, and I won't let his cat suffer because he doesn't notice the bowls are empty or the litter box is gross and full, so I break down and do it. I have tried asking him to do things. They still don't get done, or at least not in a timely fashion. He has forgotten to take the trash bins to the curb, causing us to have an excess amount of bags for a week, or the leftovers out all night, causing them to spoil when I asked him to put the food in the Tupperware. That is so frustrating. A month ago, I was super frustrated. I was working second shift instead of first like I normally do because a coworker had a childcare emergency and I was being nice. I was coming home from work at 10 p.m. super hungry, and of course my boyfriend hadn't made dinner, and he has the nerve to complain about being starving when he's been home for 5 hours.
Dude,
man can't cook his own dinner when his wife or when his girlfriend's out until 10 p.m.
We have the technology. We have it.
Called eggs in a pan. Called cereal.
Boy
cereal,
dinner.
Yeah. Boy dinner is cereal. Yeah. That's so true.
Yeah.
No.
Yes.
Boy dinner is 3 pounds of ground beef.
Boy dinner is either a steak or that you just eat a steak or cereal.
I'm with Sophie on this.
Yeah. 100%.
I was munching on cereal last night.
Yes.
True.
So does it all the time. Even making something simple, we weren't eating till 11:30 or so, and then he was going straight to bed, leaving me with cleaning up and putting the leftovers away. I ended up telling my boyfriend how crazy stressed I was keeping up with everything in the household. I felt pathetic, but I was basically begging him to make things more equal. He seemed to understand and promised to do more. And for a couple weeks, he kind of did. He made the grocery order, cleaned the litter boxes, grilled for us twice. But that didn't last for long, and somehow I still was responsible for reminding him to help or assigning him these jobs. Pausing real quick.
Pause it.
I think solution here is not necessarily break up, but I think you should not live together. You could break up. I think the solution right now is either break up or don't live together. If you constantly remind him and none of these things are being met.
That's true, because right now they're like dating, like boyfriend girlfriend relationship status. That is a good point, because and also like I feel like this boils down to like OP's like, oh, he doesn't clean, he doesn't help. To me, it boils down to a respect thing. Yeah. Of like he is not respecting all the work that she's putting in. Like she's
working until 10 p.m.
She's like, even if he's doing some of the work, she's still like the one responsible and carrying the mental weight of like his cats, for example.
His cats.
Like, what did he do before?
I don't know.
How are they alive?
Well, I think sometimes either he was just living in, filthy conditions, or sometimes when you have a new person move in, you kind of start putting everything on them. And you're like, oh, well, I don't need to do it because they'll do it.
Yeah, he's like naturally like lazy, step back, not taking responsibility for stuff, and he's like, oh, she's
doing.
He might not, and in his defense, maybe he doesn't even cognitively notice it like that, and is like, I'm gonna get her to do it. But at the end of the day, he's not. She has communicated to him very clearly and directly. Yes, this is what's up, and he's not
doing it. So I think it's either break up or don't live together, because this ain't working.
Good idea, but what happens? This
last week, my boyfriend has been on vacation from work. He had so much PTO racked up that he had to take time off because he couldn't earn any more. I still worked my normal 48 hours, 6 a.m. to 2 p.m. I was getting home from work around 2:30 to hear my boyfriend complain about being hungry and asking for me to make some lunch.
Lunch? Not lunch.
Boy, you're not even working. She just finished a full shift and you're not even working.
Well, while she's already up and at it, might as well.
Might as well just do that too.
Yeah.
This has completely set me off, and I've lost so much attraction to him. I refused every time, causing him to have an attitude with me. When I got off work yesterday, I was exhausted and fell asleep on the couch. We had discussed the day before we would be having burgers that night for dinner, something he likes to make, and that are actually really good when he does. But I woke up at 7 p.m. to him playing video games in our bedroom and asking, "When's dinner?"
When's dinner, babe?
I left him to game and pattied myself a burger, fried it, and ate my supper alone at the kitchen table. I cleaned up my mess and sat down in the living room to watch some TV. Sometime later, he comes out and again asks, "When's dinner? Are you still making burgers?" I told him I wasn't feeling good and not hungry. He ended up just eating some effing chips and salsa, too lazy to even make a frozen pizza. We go to bed, and this morning he complains about being starving, asking for pancakes or something more filling for breakfast than cereal since he didn't get dinner. I don't know how much longer this can go on. And there is an update.
I could never imagine doing this to my girlfriend.
Ridiculous. Ridiculous.
You know what I did this weekend?
What'd you do?
I heard early in the week last week that my girlfriend was like, I need to make more time to like meal prep. And guess what I did? I meal prepped. I listened and I meal prepped all like for 2 hours on Sunday. And she has food and I have food and it's great.
Yeah, I feel like
look at that. How hard is that?
I feel like it's really, there's like two things. One, as long as you are like a self-sufficient adult, and two, as long as like, even if maybe one person isn't as good at, I don't know, putting away the dish. We all have our faults, right? But
Sophia's great at putting away the dishes.
Some people, not so much. But I feel like one person says, "Hey, could you like help pull your weight?" Especially in a relationship when you're living together. Hey, here's the situation. Could you help out a little bit more? Then you do it.
You do it.
I feel like he's so disrespectful to her.
Incredibly
disrespectful.
Yeah. Break up. Get him out of there. But let's get into this update and see if she does that. Update. Sunday, my boyfriend and I had a lengthy discussion about the household inequality. I once again stressed with him how overworked I was, that I was losing attraction to him, that I was rethinking a future because being his mom was never something that I wanted to do. My boyfriend finally seemed to get that this was a make it or break it situation. He confided that he enjoyed being spoiled by me and apologized for taking advantage. He cried over the thought of losing me. He promised to do more without asking and even swore to start putting together a chore list. On to today. This morning, my boyfriend and I were getting ready for work, and he asked me if I would be okay making dinner tonight because he was planning on mowing and weeding after work. The little patch of grass.
Yep.
Your little patch of grass? He's like, oh, I did so much work.
I pushed the lawnmower. I'm dead.
I agreed, although I was thinking that he should have mowed this weekend, especially since the last 4 days he said, I'm gonna mow tonight, but it needs doing, so whatever. He then made a comment about how it makes sense for you to make dinners most days anyway. I asked why he figured that, and his reasoning was that I get off work earlier. I just kind of laughed and asked if that means he will be on dinner and dishes his 3 days off, and he made some kind of remark about it being nice if he could have 1 day free to himself a week and his hobby Saturday that can keep him out late. What is this man's logic here?
He doesn't get it.
It's ridiculous. He's like, oh, it just makes more sense for you to cook dinners because you come home earlier. But also the days when I'm not working, those are kind of my days off, you know?
Also, just to note, like, her work days start at 6 a.m., which I'm sorry, even if you get like
You're tired.
roughly amount the same as sleep, I'm just tired if I wake up earlier,
Same.
even if I get like the 7
No,
or
even
8
if I go to bed
hours.
at 10, if I wake up at 6 a.m., I'm like,
Tired, right?
yeah. This really pissed me off because who got off work earlier doesn't matter when I worked the second shift last month and he gets home before 5:30. So it's not like he couldn't relax for an hour or so before cooking and I will never have a free day to myself. Plus, since moving in together, anytime we argue about him not contributing, his reasoning is I get off work earlier, not taking into account that I work 2 more days than him. It was obvious then that he really hadn't learned anything. I told him so and started crying because that's when I realized I was done and it was over.
Good.
Good.
Thank God.
I didn't want to have that conversation right before going to work. So tonight I'll be officially ending our relationship. But you can keep joining us live every weekday at 3 p.m. PST. Just tap our profile.
Don't break up with us.
So I've been pretty useless at work today, making phone calls and preparing my next move. I sent an email to my old boss. I'm sure if they have any positions open, he would be glad to have me back. And a friend has been nice enough to offer me her spare room until my boyfriend's lease runs out. Unfortunately, my landlord was not willing to remove me from my lease because he doesn't think boyfriend can pay for it himself. So I'm just preparing to send him half of rent until February. But as soon as I have employment lined up back home, I'll be moving out. Until then, I'm cool sleeping on an air mattress in our spare room. I'm very sad. I loved him, still do. This is my first time moving in with a boyfriend, and I thought I did everything right. Like, we didn't rush, waited a year and 10 months to take this step, and made sure he could take care of his crap without me, but it still ended up this way.
So it kind of sounds like, to your point from earlier,
Yeah.
it seemed like she was already like thinking in that mindset of like,
Yeah.
okay, let's not
Let's not
rush
rush
it,
into
and
this.
still we ended up here.
It ended up like this.
Mm-mm-mm.
Ridiculous.
Ridiculous.
But you know what's not ridiculous?
What?
This next story.
Oh,
Maybe.
You're correct.
Could be.
Actually, it could be ridiculous.
Could be
That's
ridiculous.
right. So watch your mouth.
Yeah, you're right. I jumped ahead.
Don't lie to me, okay?
I'm a liar.
Like the girlfriend in the first story.
I swear you won't see an eggplant emoji in that story.
Got him.
I deleted it.
Let's do it. My husband is a man child. Did I just walk away? So I, 38 female, have been with my husband, 39 male, for over 20 years, married for 12, and we have 2 kids, 7 male, 5 female. By the way, this comes from Terrible Cat 1985 on the r/OKstorytime subreddit. It's a direct
It's one of
submission.
you.
This is one of us.
One of you.
Shout out you, Terrible Cat. So I went to give my husband a hug and appreciate him for getting a big gift for my son for Christmas. It's heavy, so I couldn't do it. When I approached, I caught him vaping in front of his computer. Now, for context, when we got together and dated, I told him he knew I have an issue with smoking anything. I have family members who died of lung cancer from smoking, and it severely bothers me. I told him smoking cigs was a deal breaker. Back then, vaping was not yet a thing. Overall, my husband's lifestyle is very unhealthy. He has a sedentary job. He comes home after the kids' bedtime to game until 3 a.m. every morning. Then I have to get the kids and him out of bed every morning at 7 a.m. for school. He naps as soon as he gets home. I take care of all the kids' needs, packing lunches, registering them for extracurriculars, homework help, managing our finances, laundry, appointments, paperwork for my special needs son, literally everything.
What is he doing?
My brain is spinning just reading that list.
Yeah, that was so much stuff, and it sounds like he gamed.
If I have to leave the house for a few hours, I set up kids with snacks and packed meals. I know I shouldn't, but if I don't, he will feed them nuggets and goldfish and then tell me it's fine.
Not even giving them a veggie.
Goldfish.
Yeah, goldfish. He will watch the kids if I I need to run errands or go out. But his version of that is putting them in front of a screen so he can game.
He's like, chat, come watch me game.
Yeah, chat. Hey, chat, can you watch my kids on game? Could you just could you drop a big dono if they start choking or something?
It's like one of those TikToks where people will leave like a dog, or they're like, hey, can you watch my dog and make sure
to
she doesn't
a stranger
eat this?
or something?
No, to
It's like a video. He's
Oh.
done on
It's like
TikTok.
It's
He's done
like
on
POV.
TikTok.
Oh.
Sorry. Okay, so imagine you're millions of people.
Yes.
And I'm one person
Mhm.
making a video.
I'm
like,
chat.
hey, chat, can you watch this cup and make
Yeah.
sure no one takes it? And then someone comes in and takes it, and then they come back and they're like, chat,
Oh.
where'd it
That's
go?
like the whole, that's
Yeah.
the shtick.
And so that would be him with it. He's like, chat, can you watch my kids?
If someone just come and kidnaps them, he's like,
Yeah.
where'd they
Chat,
go?
where'd they go? Chat,
Your fault.
that's legally binding. I'm gonna sue you.
Let's find my kids. Go to the map. Oh my God. He will not supervise them. And even when they were little, he would fall asleep watching / supervising them. My husband is also overweight, which isn't a problem, except he also snores a lot. So my sleep is constantly interrupted. And if the kids get up, I am the only one who gets up with them. He drinks beers and eats unhealthily. And to add, I know that he's also ADHD and struggles with getting that dopamine. So I'm not against the idea that he needs a vice, but at this point, I feel like he's getting vices in everything unhealthy instead of going into therapy or inquiring about possible medication for ADHD.
Once again, it is an explanation, but not an excuse. He needs to be putting in work to find ways that work for him.
Big facts.
And not put it all on you.
That's right. I feel less and less attracted to him, and he gets upset because I don't out. I'm burnt out and frustrated. I don't want to go through divorce right now because I don't want to split custody and our finances / house is tied together. What I want is Reddit to read through this and offer their advice.
That's what we're here for.
That's what we gotcha. I'd like to share this thread with him so he can hear other people's opinions outside my own. He won't change for me. And even if he tries, it lasts a few weeks and goes back to the same old, same old. I have a lot of resentment, and he said that I'm controlling and a nag that runs his life. I have expressed to him that this is a result of him not following through or being consistent in caring for our kids. He is welcome to leave and lead the single life, but why would he when I do everything anyways? Bottom line is that I can't trust him to be a good partner. I can see that my accepting this is just enabling him. I get it, but there is absolutely some trauma bonding that happened here. My parents were abusive, so my standard when I was married was to choose someone that wouldn't hurt me rather than an equal partner. By the way, we're live every day, 3 p.m. on YouTube. Come join us, like right now. I know from his point of view, I'm constantly reminding him of things, even sometimes as he is just about to do them, and this can be an ADHD rejection sensitive dysphoria trigger. I also want things done a certain standard of care for my kids, not just something that's quote unquote fine. Again, by his
standards.
nuggets and goldfish standard, the golden fish standard. My husband can only see the vaping as the problem, but I think it's a symptom of a bigger issue. Can someone tell me if I am the a-hole here? I think there's a lot to discuss here, Sophia.
Yeah.
There really is.
There really, really is, because I think we approach this fine line of like, when is someone doing something destructive to themselves, but more so when is it disruptive to the relationship or
And the family.
care of their children, care of the family. What are your thoughts?
I think it's disruptive now. I
Yes.
think that OP, if you have told your husband multiple times and have that conversation with him of, hey, this is what I expect, this is what I need from you, and this is what our kids need from you,
Yeah.
and he is not receiving that in a way where he's actually trying to change things and trying to improve, then the relationship cannot progress. I think unless you're both, I mean, as you said, equal partners, it can't move forward.
Yeah. Oh, and OP opened up the story about the vaping, but I feel like that was more the straw that broke the camel's back. And honestly,
Yes.
not even, there was like, that was just a tip of the iceberg, but the real stuff was like all the stuff.
Yeah, I'm just
below
not
that.
listening to you and not really caring about your thoughts and feelings.
Yeah.
What you could do too, what my mom did to my brother,
Here we go.
was check his blood levels and be like, okay, your iron is down, your B12 is down, we'll get you supplements and get you more energy. That's a solution.
I can.
I don't know why I thought you were gonna say like she snuck him like pills or something.
No.
I was like,
I don't know if it's controlling or like over, like telling someone like, hey, you're not eating healthy. Here's what you should eat. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think OP actually had a very level-headed and respectful thing. Like she was like, hey, he is overweight, which honestly isn't an issue other than he snores at night and that disrupts my sleep.
Yeah, it seems like OP is only concerned when is concerned about her partner's health, but
Yes,
also
of course.
is mainly commenting on the parts when it kind of dips into her life and her well-being and her children's well-being.
And maybe it's just kind of saying an altered version of what she said here, which is like, hey, like, the snoring is kind of like disrupting to my sleep. And like, I don't want to be like overbearing or controlling or anything like that, but maybe we could look into some solutions, or maybe that's.
Yeah, it seems like she's already done.
Yeah.
And I think at this point, if you've had all these conversations and nothing has changed, then I know you said you didn't want to do divorce, but I feel like you have to look at what am I, is this doing more harm than good?
Yeah.
And maybe just putting in the I don't know, not the feelers, but starting the process to divorce and starting to kind of separate finances and doing what you can to prepare yourself, or maybe separating for a time.
Honestly, maybe separating for now, where it's like, okay, you can live your life, but you don't have to go through the divorce process yet.
Yeah, immediately. But it's like, you're not going to be so hurt by all these things going on.
And I think you can say like even just on the kids, for example, like, hey, I've communicated that, I want the kids to eat in a certain way. And look, granted, parenting is like a partnership and finding agreements and stuff, but like I feel like she's communicated and everything in a way where it's like, I've told you many times, it seems like he's not raising any issue, like any legitimate issues.
No,
he's just being lazy essentially, or like not respecting what she wants, which is, I think, good. Like feeding your kids chicken nuggets and goldfish every time you watch them. Come on, bro. Like, that's bad.
I said I didn't realize I could love a person this much to my baby in front of my fiance. Now he's hurt. Am I the a-hole? So Nofi5823 says, I gave birth a few weeks ago to our daughter. As I held her for the first time and looked into her eyes, I said, I didn't realize I could love a person this much, and cried. She is perfect and beautiful. My mom looked at me and said that feeling never goes away, which made us both ugly cry, LOL. It was a really special moment. My fiance was quiet, but smiled, but later privately said he was hurt. He said he loved us both the same, and me saying that made it seem like I loved our daughter more than him.
If you love our daughter so much, why don't you marry her?
That's literally his attitude here. I just gave him a, are you effing serious look? And he dropped it. But yesterday, he brought it up again. How do you have beef with your newborn daughter?
Hey, baby, listen.
Baby.
Listen up, ugly baby. I'm attractive. Not you.
Yeah,
she should love me more.
He goes into like the baby room every night. He's like, you're freaking ugly. She'll never like you like me.
All you do is cry.
You just got here.
All you do is cry, unlike me.
That's what John's going to do with his newborns.
Yeah, he's like, you're ugly.
Incorrect.
I told him that honestly, yes, I love and cherish our daughter and have never experienced this kind of love for another human being. He said most normal people would agree with him that it's a hurtful comment and would take offense to it due to the implication. Am I the a-hole? No. And there is an update. You're not the a-hole.
Quick question.
Yeah.
Could he have expressed it in a way like, this may sound terrible, but I think I got some insecurity when you said this to our daughter, like maybe our love isn't as strong as I thought it was.
Honestly, I still think I'd be like, what?
Got him. There's nothing you can do, sucker.
I don't think there's any way you could say this that would be like,
you can't do it.
Confusing, because this is
his baby.
This is a product of you and your most favorite person, and it's like that.
Yeah, this is like a product of your love.
Yeah.
This is your love squared and formed into a person. But there is an update.
Oh.
It's a quick update, so I didn't feel like it was worth it to make a whole new post. So I had a heart-to-heart with my fiance, and we came to a few conclusions together. It went very well. We read through the post and comments together. Number 1, he wasn't jealous of our daughter's role in my life, but rather our bond together. He didn't have that instant love connection that we read about all new parents having, like what I experienced. I didn't realize this was actually very normal for new dads and new moms too. Thanks for educating me. We are the first in our social circle to have children, so we didn't have a lot of IRL people to inquire about it. His perspective is, I love this human being we made, but I don't know her. Well, I was thunderstruck.
Hey, Listen, baby, you're great, but
You're great, but like I don't really know
we
you
need
like
a little
that.
more time. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
I don't know if I feel like we're going a little fast.
Yeah.
I don't think I can say I love you, Leah.
Look. I know there's like dad, son. I don't want to put labels on it just yet.
Let's keep it casual.
Yeah,
You're
like-
baby and I'm John.
We're friends, you know. Like you're cool and all,
Yeah.
but like you vomited on my shirt the other day. That was like
yeah,
not a
like
G
maybe
move.
you should lay off the milk.
Yeah,
It's getting a little bit embarrassing.
dude. What are you talking about?
He hadn't had that connection, so doesn't get it yet. And that it will take time, months, or even a year. I'll be more patient and aware of this and read up more on new dad experiences to learn more.
But doesn't he know the kid? Because he has
No.
seen it from the beginning to
No.
now.
no, he's
Hey,
like,
have
who's
I-
this?
Bro, I've only known you for a month. How can I commit to being
Yeah.
father-son labeled? You
But
know?
I've only been here for a month.
Number 2. He also agrees he not only could have expressed that better, but also choose better timing. Voicing it to me after a 14-hour labor, and then again when I'm exhausted and grumpy with achy boobs is maybe not the best time, lol.
Wait. What
Like,
was that?
did you say?
Can you?
Sorry, what did you say?
I said that is so terrible.
Oh,
Yeah, okay.
Sure.
Yeah.
He also agrees marriage counseling would be great just because we are both opinionated, logical thinking engineers who at the same time love each other deeply. We could use better mediation other than Reddit. No offense, guys. Number 3, he was not furious about me writing this Reddit post, lol. We laughed at the comments together, calling for me to get ready to break up. I always think it's funny when like the people post Reddit stories and then they're like, yeah, shared it with my partner, and they're laughing at the comments.
It's so silly.
Funny.
Dude, this
I
guy's
don't
not
believe you.
laughing.
I don't. If he got this upset over his baby,
Right?
I don't think he's laughing.
Right?
But we also really enjoyed reading the experiences of new parents. It helped us both feel validated and sane and see each other's perspectives better. Number 4, I showed him that Ryan Reynolds video and we both died laughing, lol. We will now be eating a disgusting amount of hot dogs while watching Deadpool with our baby girl. We also agreed that there's different types of love like parental, platonic, romantic, and Ryan Reynolds. Thanks, peeps. And there are some relevant comments to finish, 2 relevant comments to finish this off.
Do it.
AVM says, Ryan Reynolds agrees with you. Parental love is different than the love of a partner. OP says, I peed myself from laughing too hard, and I do mean literally, the wonders of childbirth keep on giving. I'll keep this in my back pocket after a very lengthy heart-to-heart tonight. We both love Ryan too, so I can't wait. LMAO. I love how it just pivoted into a
Yeah.
Ryan
Reynolds
post.
love
yeah.
fest.
I feel like Ryan Reynolds saved their relationship.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. OP was like, think about how you feel about Ryan Reynolds. And he's like, wow, you're right. Just like how you feel about your baby, I can never love anyone as much as Ryan
I
Reynolds.
finally get it.
I finally
Okay,
understand.
since Sam is not here, I have to do this.
Oh boy.
He's known the baby for only 14 hours.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, if you walked up to a stranger and you're
Yeah.
like, I love you more than any more than
That'd
any
be
capacity I thought I had.
crazy.
That'd be crazy, right? I have this quite frankly ugly baby sitting
Yeah.
here. 14 hours
I'm not even
old.
attracted.
Yeah, I'm not even attracted to them, 14 hours old, and you're over here saying like, "Oh wow, I love
you can
you
never
more than."
love
than I
anyone
can
more
love
than this
anyone.
baby.
Just saying.
Kind of a punch in the gut.
kind of a punch in the gut,
Yeah.
punch in the uterus.
Yeah.
Some might say.
Some might say that.
It's maybe he's got a point, maybe he doesn't. I don't know.
Who's to say at
Who's
the
to
end
say?
of the day?
Sam isn't here, so I had to make the devil's advocate argument. So,
You did. And,
You're welcome, Sam.
Yeah.
but guys, the devil's advocate argument is also that this episode is over.
Yeah. And I'm not afraid to say that.
Yeah,
We've
me
only
either.
known you guys for
1 hour.
an hour.
That I don't love
I
you.
don't owe you anything.
I don't owe you anything.
This is over.
You're nothing to me.
I'm done. But if you still love us, make sure to subscribe.
We might still love you and
see you tomorrow. Maybe.